Good day, everyone, and welcome to another one of our very interesting Engage podcast sessions. Today, we'll be exploring online recruitment, looking at the changes that we've experienced, the challenges actually within the HR environment, specifically in local government, the whole advertising process, the long listings and the cumbersome shortlisting processes, and perhaps sometimes lack of transparency or perceived lack of transparency. And what we've been doing in the last few years with regards to introducing more transparency, looking at compliance, and then also making it easier for individuals to apply for positions within municipalities. Now, if we just sort of start at the beginning, I want to introduce Charmaine du Plessis. Why exactly is the recruitment portal a thing going forward, and the exact requirement? Why did the need arise?
Yes, we started this implementation about 4 years ago already, and I think the biggest problem was the volume of applications that was processed by a municipality. For some positions, there is 500 to 800 applicants, and it just became impossible for the on-premises staff to capture all these applications on the system. So we started with a online web-based system where any applicant can sign in, create their own profile once off, upload all their documentation like their CV, their driver's license, their ID document, and then apply for positions. So the system is actually twofold. It's one where the application or the applicants load their profiles and documentation, and then there's an on-premises system, which is the recruitment request. It will start with a recruitment request where the recruitment request is approved by management, and then an advert is generated, and that advert is then posted to the portal where applicants can then start to apply. Another benefit is when they apply, the system will automatically link that application to that specific recruitment request, and it's already indexed, it's already registered at the system with all supporting documents, ready for the HR department or for the panel to review those applicants and create their shortlist.
Thank you very much, Charmaine. We joined this today by Joe from Hessequa Municipality. And maybe I just want to ask Joe, the process just doesn't start at the online component, what the applicant sees. It actually starts earlier with regards to the business process that's executed in Collaborator. So that's your on-premise sort of system where you get the approval to actually advertise the position. Do you maybe just want to run us through that process just briefly at a macro level?
Right. Good morning, everyone. When we decide to advertise a position, we have to load a requisition on the Collaborator system. So the advert goes automatically to the manager, but first it generates the advert on the portal. So when it comes back, we have a button where we click that we want to create it on the portal. So after that, we receive a few applications, and by that, we do not have to capture application forms manually, which makes our recruitment process much faster and much easier. But for now, Hessequa is running a dual system. So our adverts from T3 up to T6, we still capture it manually, but up to T7 and T17, we only allow applications on the portal. So in the future, maybe we will have one system where all applicants must register and apply on the portal. But currently we have over 5,000 registered applicants, which is good because we receive a lot of applications per post. So it definitely made our life easier.
That's fantastic. The volume is exceptional. Something that we found at most municipalities where we work is very specifically, they'll advertise a position, and it doesn't really matter what position they advertise. They get thousands of applications, and they have to actually process all those applications to ensure that they remain compliant. Thank you very much, Joe. Loyiso from Garden Route has also joined us today. Very able practitioner. We're really excited to have you, Loyiso. If we look at the district municipality environment, it's not much different to a local municipality or what we've what we'll see at any other municipality, for instance, like Hessequa or any of the other municipalities. You want to maybe just give us some background as to how you guys have experienced the implementation at your municipality from a district municipality perspective, if you don't mind. Thank you so much.
Garden Route District Municipality is not immune from any other municipality in terms of the recruitment and selection in particular. And when you're taking the concept of a district, you must put it in your mind that you are not jurisdictionally only for a specific town. So you are dealing with a district, which then assists us to have the online recruitment that everyone within the district has an opportunity to be able to access the portal. Remember, the portal, you can access this wherever you are, at your own time, at your own space, and it also reduces the time or cost from the applicants themselves, where they don't need to do the postages of applications. You can apply for any position that became vacant. So it's therefore very prudent to have this portal that we are currently using as our method of recruitment and selection. Is very effective and is very speedily, as my colleague from Hessequa have said. It reduces those manual capturing the old traditional recruitment and selection, where you'll have to pile a number of applications. And it also reduces the risk where some application cannot be accounted for. When using an online application, it's easily to track the application, it's easily audited, and the data is kept at the same point. So that is the gist and the benefits of having the portal within the space. The process is the same. You can't just advertise a position. There should be an approval, as it has been said. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I just want to ask on that specific question with regards to applicants applying online. Loyiso, from a HR recruitment perspective, the communication with the applicant is then electronically. So you let them know that you've received the application and you also let them know of the outcome, or is that still a process that's handled outside of the framework of the system?
Yes, thank you very much. That was one of my thoughts that I wanted to engage with the engineers, because of we don't have that notification that says, I have received the application. No? That was one of my thoughts that I said I will engage the engineers that let us have, when one put a button of application, he must receive an automative response that we have received your application. If you have not heard from us within 3 months, then consider your application as an unsuccessful. So that is one of the improvement that we are intending to put in, or one of the buttons that should be included within the system. You update it as it goes. So with the test, that is what was one of my pickup.
Fantastic. Thanks, Loyiso. Joe, are you experiencing a similar requirement from your side? Is that also something, an enhancement that you're looking at implementing in future?
Philip, we do have an automated message which just said that we have received your application, but we do not have a sentence where it says that if you're not from us within 3 months, consider your application unsuccessful. So like my colleague from Garden Route, maybe we can just put it in there somehow.
That's fantastic. It's very exciting that we can actually automate these processes. And I think what came out from both our expert panelists this morning is that the auditability and the traceability of applications that can get lost in this entire process. And I mean, these are just 2 municipalities. So you'll understand that, we've got over 200 municipalities in Africa and thousands of applications that have been advertised on a daily basis. Charmaine, I just want to come back to the process and implementation of the process. So if the applicant registers on the portal, he then, for instance, selects the municipality that he would like to be included in the recruitment process. He can then start to upload his supporting documentation. Let's, for instance, say that during the process, he needs to he doesn't have a certificate, or he needs to get a police clearance certificate for a specific position. Can that process then be saved? And can he come back later, or she come back later, and then continue with the process?
Yeah, Philip, how it works is the applicant first have to do his entire profile, upload his documentation. So that's the first step. And when that profile is complete, the system will send you a task saying, listen, you've successfully completed your profile. We did have problems where people updated their profiles or changed their profiles, or where you've got an incomplete profile. And you will be blocked to apply for a position if your profile is not complete. And the reason for that is because if it's not complete, you can be excluded from the recruitment or from that specific vacancy long list because you don't apply or you don't comply to the minimum requirements, or there's certain documentation that is not there. So you have to upload your ID document, you have to upload your CV before you can apply for that position.
It's a very important point that you're raising with regards to completeness of the application. We're not really directly involved in a municipal environment. So we typically have a bit of leniency to say that we find chances in the system, in the process, creating a lot of administrative overhead for our customers, just to at the end of the process realize that the detail that the person submitted was not correct if we look at the manual process. So that we're obviously resolving a lot of the pre-qualification admin by having or allowing the applicant to register and make sure that his registration is complete with all the necessary information.
Yeah, Philip, that's very important. And I think we did have a lot of issues with that when we started the implementation. External users would go and change their profiles, but forget to submit or upload the final documentation. And then they do apply, and then that specific document is not, for instance, part of their qualifications. For instance, security officers need a firearm license that need to be uploaded, and that is specified in the vacancy. And now they forget to upload that one, and they are disqualified. And people are really upset then because they do have that document, but the system did not prompt them to finally update it. So we built in a block that you cannot apply if all the task in your inbox is not completed and finalized.
I don't think that we understand the significance of the improvements that we've been introducing. And as we've heard this morning, it's obviously refinement that we will be introducing on a step-by-step basis. But just in closing thoughts, Loyiso, from your side, looking ahead, taking a forward view, do you think, the growth opportunities, except for the enhancements, but do you think that the portal as we have it today, looking at recruitment in general, will play a more significant role in your processes and your practices?
Indeed, as I always said, we must first begin by thinking that the recruitment and selection, or HR itself today, is competing with an AI. And we cannot then exclude our thinking as the municipality when it comes to the use of technology. So the innovations in terms of usage of technology should be high. Hence, then the portal comes in as one of the innovations in terms of enhancing the recruitment within the municipal space. If one is still in the tradition of using manual application, I think such person must begin to think that it's time to traverse to the usage of a portal. It has great benefits. If I can make reference, when you are attempting to attract your senior manager's position, I don't want to say this one, but let me say it, and take it in the concept of a non-operation of post office. If one must still post, is there guarantee that application will reach the destination before the closing time? Then what then happens? You're closing a gap where you should have received the potential applicants if ever still in the old manual system, especially for your senior positions. Hence, I then see a potential of using technology, using the portal, E-Recruitment as one of the most important and one of the effective tools that one can embark on in his own municipality to ensure that the target outreach is reached fully and it open for all diversity within the applications. At the end of the day, you don't sleep not having enough candidates for any position if you are in that space.
I understand exactly. And a very important point that you're making is to make sure that you get as many people, the right people, to apply for the positions. Joe, from your side at Hessequa, and I don't want to call you a plattelandse dorp, but I mean, you guys are really on the countryside. And one of the important things that Loyiso's just alluded to is, we don't really have a very reliable postal service on a national basis. So you might have something in your municipal area that works well, but I mean, it's difficult for applicants to send something to you from other cities and towns and making sure that it actually arrives. Do you see the implementation of the recruitment portal as being beneficial, just to the extent of what you've been discussing?
Definitely beneficial. Like my colleague stated from Garden Route, I can't remember when last we received an application which was sent during the post office, because everyone is making use of the online recruitment. And like I said, it's just a click of a button and you know that your application will be there on the long list. It will go through. So I don't think applicants need to worry about, did they receive my application? If I send it via email, will they receive it? So like I said, it's very, very beneficial. And I think for Hessequa in the near future, we will push for all our T grades to apply on the online portal so that we can have a faster and more efficient way of doing our recruitment.
That's excellent. That concludes our podcast with regards to looking at the recruitment portals. I mean, we can really get into a lot more detail, especially with regards to benefits. I think auditability, the whole compliance picture that has unfolded during our discussion this morning really excites me. And if you would like to engage with us, please feel free to contact us. Contact details are displayed at the end of the podcast, and we're really looking forward to engaging with you and to see how we can optimize the recruitment process within your specific municipality. And you don't really have to start at the end. We can look at incremental improvement, starting with something small, just maybe organizing the way that you receive your CVs or the way that you advertise the positions. So when one looks at established customers, one thinks, wow, okay, it's a journey, and it is a journey. But we don't have to worry about that. Give us a call, let's engage and take this further. And thank you very much for taking time out to engage with us this morning. Thank you. For more information, please feel free to contact us on 0860 104 888, alternatively admin@be.co.za, or on any of our socials. We'd love to interact with you.